There is some overwriting in there, but the voice is coming through. If you don't have a voice, you can't have a career. Simple as that. This is a recording taken from a free live class that I give from time to time to my email subscribers. Let's get stuck in. Is Chris Christensen in the house?
Yes, I am.
Hello, Chris. So this intrigues me. You're putting a blood simple plan. There is obviously the Sam Raimi movie, A Simple Plan, which sounds like it's not a million miles away from this tone. Could be a Coen Brothers movie. That was called Blood Simple, wasn't it?
Yep. Those are kind of the two inspiration. It's a working title until I think of something better.
Your title is massive. I have a project which completely DOA. It was called The Ashes of Zion, about this cult that lay siege to an FBI hostage negotiator. The location is a rescue ranch for horses. And this rescue ranch for horses is turned into a kill pen. I thought, well, why don't I change the title from The Ashes of Zion to Kill Pen? And suddenly people were interested in it. So a blood simple plan, a down on his luck gas station owner, great character, steals a winning lottery ticket from a customer in order to pay back his debt to a loan shark, and discovers that we make our luck, whether that's good or bad. I think this is a mic drop, actually. Yes, this is the theme, but if I'm a agent or a manager and I get this logline, automatically I've got problem, I've got moral transgression, and I know it's not going to end well. So I think that this is probably your strongest foot forward. How does it read? A backpack clenched in Doug's fist as he winds his way through the casino floor, surrounded by the sounds of one-armed bandits stealing coins. Occasionally, a winner rings out to create the illusion of easy money. He arrives at the cashier window. Doug is in need of a brush, trim, shave, clean shirt, and a cup of coffee. His face seems wrong without a pair of thick-rimmed glasses taped together at the bridge. He fumbles a few dozen stacks of bills from his backpack to the cashier who works there to supplement her Social Security. The banknote counter calculates his cash. 30,000, how would you like that? Thousands. She counts out 31,000 chips, slides them over to Doug. Good luck. Cards shuffled, cards dealt, chips bet, chips collected. Doug is on a bad beat. If he has 19, the dealer has 20. If Doug has blackjack, so does the dealer. Before he knows it, Doug is down to his last 2 chips. He's dealt a pair of 10s. To split them into 2 bets or stay? That is the question. Doug retrieves his lucky coin from his pocket, makes a bet in his head. A blackjack cowboy at the table shakes his head. Amateur hour. Doug flicks the coin, the decision made for him. He separates his cards, indicating to the dealer that he wants to split. Cowboy smirks. This isn't going to end well. With the flip of a few cards, Doug's small fortune is gone. The dazzling lights of the casino taunt Doug in the reflections of the wet pavement as he ambles towards his car, a Volvo station wagon, and relic of the last century. He unlocks it, climbs inside. He grips the wheel with both fists and rests his forehead on it. Deep breath. We presume he's alone in the car, but then a sweet young voice comes from the back seat. Did you get lucky, Daddy? Doug collects himself as he sits up and looks into the rear view mirror at his 6-year-old daughter, Emily. She must have gotten her looks from Mum. Not this time. Doug starts the car, pops it into gear, and reverses full speed out of his parking spot. This is, after all, the tale of a man going backwards in life. Great voice in here. I think it's kind of at a 7, but it's undeniable in that it sets up a guy who's just lost a ton of money. We know where he is. This is a very long first sentence. You'll often hear me saying your first sentence is your business card. As a writer, it's the second sentence the reader will read of yours. Your first is the logline. A backpack clenched in Doug's fist. So Doug isn't really the key controlling noun. The backpack is the subject. I've come to the conclusion that when you introduce a character using a body part, we don't really see them. You've got the as disease there, as I say. And Doug 40, I haven't got who he is. A backpack clenched in a fist winds its way through the casino floor. And then surrounded by the sounds of one-armed bandits stealing coins, there is sound design here. See if you can make the noise more combative, as in if he winds his way through the casino floor, bombarded by the sound of one-armed bandits stealing coins. I think that does it. Occasionally, this is editorial. We don't need that. He arrives at, that's nice. That gives us some momentum. I didn't understand this line here. I bumped on this line. His face seems wrong without. That sounds like normally he has a pair of thick rimmed glasses at the bridge. Is he wearing glasses or not?
No, he's not.
Okay, so there's unfilmables, and then there are ones that don't make sense. We really won't know that he seems wrong because this is the only time we've met him. Nice little description of a minor character. Try and give every single character something so that when the actor gets your script, they're not just an extra. Very clean, 30,000. How would you like 1,000? Good luck. And that good luck, just that one line creates the most important tense in screenwriting, which is the future tense, intrigue. If you're enjoying this class, I've got a Scooby sense that you're going to absolutely love my free 50-minute masterclass. 7 mistakes stopping you getting an agent. It's essentially a taster class for my paid program, the Scriptfella program, but there are a ton of valuable, actionable techniques that you can take away today. So click on the link and get stuck in. And now we are going to plunge back in to the live dive. What I love here, a lot of writers would go montage, series of shots. Doug plays cards. Time passes. The chips get smaller. And in my opinion, those are rarely interesting because they just mean time passes. You need a montage. Even Rocky had a montage. Montages rarely have compelling storytelling, which is why I sort of militate against them. But look at this. This is big picture, and it's saying to the directors, if Guy Ritchie's directing this, that's going to be different than in Scorsese's directing this. Cards shuffled, cards dealt, chips bet, chips collected. This is like beat poetry. And what we're using here is a little bit of haiku. There's a big section in the Scriptfella program about when to use haiku and when not to overdo it. But you can use it to change the rhythm of your sentences, which signals to the reader, okay, we're changing gear. So we had very different narrative voice here. This narrative voice, this storytelling voice, is just dropping in little bombs. He's on a bad beat. This is sort of gambling language. It's the kind of language that he would use. I'm on a bad beat. If he has 19, the dealer hits 20. Now, what we haven't done is saying he turns over 19. The dealer has 20. So I think that what you've done really well here, Chris, is given us a 1,000-foot view of his losing streak in a way that it's great storytelling. And I love you've got this blackjack cowboy. A blackjack cowboy shakes his head. Amateur hour. Look at what's happening here. Chris has italicized some of the characters' thoughts. I do have a whole video in the Scriptfella program about this. There's a whole class. It refers to The Good Wife because what they do, the writers, the kings, is they describe Alicia Florrick's thoughts. And this is exactly what Chris has done here, and it works really well. Narrative voice. Doug's small fortune is gone. Now, if you cut a bit of this up, this is going to land as the cliffhanger at the bottom of 1, which is perfect. You got a problem. I got a little bit tripped up about this. Dazzling lights of the casino taunt Doug in the reflections of the wet pavement. That's probably as much as I can see. And from that, I deduce that he's walking because he's in the wet pavement. You got the as disease here. Amble. I'm not sure amble is the right verb. He's absolutely destroyed. You amble is quite comfortable. He might slog his way to his car. Relic of the last century. Tick, tick. You are what you drive. And this guy drives a veritable relic of the last century. Deep breath. We don't need to presume he's alone, but then a sweet young voice comes from the backseat. Comes? Yeah. There might be another verb that you could swap out. A sweet young voice chirps from the backseat. Try and push your language. It just makes everything zig. And what a great moment. If you want to know what it's like for a character, we were to write And this is not for anybody else. This is for you. To diagnose whether your scene has conflict, write a logline and see if you have the character struggling to do something. And I think he is. He's struggling to deal with the shame of having lost a small fortune. He collects himself as he sits up. We don't need to know. He collects himself, sits up. Looks is another one of those neutral words. It's like walks. Yeah, he could peers, he could gaze. There are 100 words for look. And his 6-year-old daughter, she must have got her good looks from mum. So, I mean, this has got a great narrative voice. He starts the car, pops it into gear, reverses full speed. Why is this capitalized? Why is parking spot capitalized? Generally, capitalize things that you want the reader to pay attention to, that are more important that things aren't capitalized. I don't know why reverses is more important than pops into gear. Sometimes in action scenes where the writer does capitalize a lot of the key action beats, but I don't think you need to capitalize. And I just love the storytelling voice of this. This is, after all, the tale of a man going backwards in life. And this is the guy who runs a gas station and steals a winning lottery ticket from his customer. But this scene is absolutely essential to get empathy for him.
Gonna have to split those 10s.
Splitting 10.
Splitting 10. Split 10 again.
So I think it's, by and large, I think you need to cut down this log line, come up with a great title that gives us a tingle. There is some overwriting in there, but the voice is coming through. And I cannot emphasize how important it is to have a really strong voice as a screenwriter, which is why there are over an hour of video tutorials in the Scriptfella program about voice. If you don't have a voice, you can't have a career. Simple as that. And you've got a voice here. Do these notes make sense, Chris? Do you have any questions for me?
No, they're tremendously helpful. Love it. Love what you're doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chris. Great job.